you look at that. I found a desk all of a sudden after the cast in the last game. Minor League for North America is still going on today. We've already had one set taken care of. That was the boys of Exilium trying to take on Armada. Didn't go so well for them. But enough of that. Joining me on the desk once again is, well, it's the dude I just casted with. Totally, how you doing?
Hey, good to see you again, Hindu. We know we went from point A to point B, and we're moving on with North America SML.
And we're going to focus now towards the last set of the day, which is going to be Sanguine up against Cryptik. Sanguine, for me, totally have been... This is a team of Latin American players that, honestly, in my opinion, are almost ready for pro level.
Oh, yeah.
I think a lot of these guys could step up to the pro level really quickly.
Between their support and also their hunter player, Sheento, I think that these are the two outlying superstars from this LATAM roster to be able to really start finding the victories. They're already 2-1 in week 4.
Yeah, with how the season's gone so far, at the top it's been relatively close. Everybody kind of dropping a game to each other. Only Exilium and Cryptik, the two teams that are unable to find a win so far. So it's a big challenge today then for Cryptik to try and make something happen. Let's find out if they can in picks and bans.
Very difficult against Sanguine. This is a team that really is clean, I think. So you better win in picks and bans because on the battlefield it's a tall task.
Well, we'll see Cryptik first pick, first ban. And I'm interested to see what they choose to go for here, because Sanguine have been around a while now. People have started to identify they're a very good team and pretty solid overall in terms of varying positions. I will say the one exposure I can see from Sanguine is maybe towards the solo lane. Jarcorrr is very good at a 1v1 situation, but you could potentially abuse that a little bit.
Something he did a lot in the first phase of Season 6 was just invades in general.
That's
looking
what I mean,
for the Valona solo lane invade onto the speed buff. If I'm Cryptik, I'm looking at that Jarcorrr solo laner and I'm thinking about either having somebody positioned to see him coming or maybe even ward his side of the map.
Well, setting Ares band away, we saw Ares a little bit earlier on. Very potent at the moment, has a couple of different roles. Totally is still telling me solo is viable, just so you kids at home know. So if you get a tier against you, give it a go. Trust me, it works. Totally taught us. Isis and Set as well. 3 of the gods, sorry, that you expect to see banned away if you first pick, just because you're expecting to get something else on the counter ban phase.
Yeah, there's still Thor. I think Zhonghui is banned away, so you got Thor, a Muzen Cobb, Merlin potentially, Jormungandr is a go-to pick. Erlongshen is banned away from Sanguine, and casually always forgetting about Chronos because it's always banned.
Is that always banned? Is that the state right now that Chronos is always still banned?
95%
but
of the games.
But all the rings got like nerfed, right?
Nah, that doesn't matter.
He's still useful?
Yeah, he's still pretty
Is he mid or is he duo still?
Ooh, that's a good question because both of those players. Okay, it's actually for Cryptik, so I thought like it was Sanguine locked in.
Oh yeah, because then you're like, well, these two can both play it.
Yeah, I think it's going in the mid for Cryptik.
Okay,
yeah.
See what Cryptik do with that. Horus instantly snap locked in for Sanguine here. Excited to see more Horus, and well, Thor in tow. That's 2 people that can technically take to the sky and land in different areas. One of them just brings his whole team with him.
That's going to be a powerful asset, I think, against a team such as Cryptik that's going to be looking to be a little bit aggressive, especially with the amount of push power now that they got this AMC.
Surprisingly enough, the AMC and Chronos combination, very, very potent. A lot of people like to try and go realistically for their lane matchups more than anything else, get the carries on the gods they want. And as the season's gone on, we're seeing more focus on getting those picks earlier on.
Very aggressive from Cryptik to lock in this Ravana. I'm expecting them to, right off the bat, just go for some dual lane shenanigans, have this Ravana rotate over with a potential blink.
Ravana also locked in as well. Horus and Thor now alongside Olorun will be selected. Olorun flexible. I want to say he's flexible, but from what I've seen, he's only really been played in the dual lane.
Has been because
you
want him to get to the highest level possible. Once he gets the items available, he's going to be an absolute beast. The more magical power he has, the higher crit percentage chance that he gets, and that's what you're really looking for.
God, crit on a mage.
It's good. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's great. And into the counter ban phase we go. It's following the King Arthur, Zhong, and Erlang bans from Sanguine. They're going to take away the Terra as well here. Terra pretty useful at trying to shut down some things, mainly against a Horus than anything else, just because Horus likes the updraft, trying to get the knock up. Can't be knocked up. Can Terra, and Geb also causes problems too. Morrigan, though, across the way from Cryptik, alongside Hell.
Something that Sanguine have been running before, both the Morrigan and the Hell. The team fighting makes it just impossible to really lock down Sheento in any given aspect of the game. So I'm expecting Cryptik to lean on Sheento with some of these bans that they've done.
Merlin picked up instead then by Sanguine here. Surprised by the Hell and the Morrigan bans. I think one or the other could have been okay there. Maybe just the Hell ban, leave Morrigan available. I'm always suspect about picking Morrigan because you've got to have such a high skill level with that god to really be fruitful with it.
Well, if we're considering Sanguine, I'm expecting them to pilot this Morrigan at the highest of levels. So give respect to where respect is due. So Morrigan, very smart band there. Just got to solidify their front line now.
And there is a Kumbhakarna locked in for them for Cryptik, and that's going to help to solidify it a little bit more. Both Kumbha and Raven very much aggressive sort of gods. Kumbha can sit on peel quite a bit, but generally doesn't. And Amaterasu in tow. I'm a little bit worried about Cryptik's form of engage here more than anything else. It's very telegraphed. You've got Raven having to use the ultimate, Amaterasu dashing using the ultimate, or a blink Kumbhakarna. It is a very telegraphed comp, whereas Sanguine on the other hand, Thor is always going to be the one to initiate there.
It's also a very mobile composition from the movement speed. It's not just the Amaterasu aura that you're getting, but you're thinking about Chronos Accelerate, the Muzen Hives to be able to run away, and you're going to need to run away from the long-range global pressure out of Sanguine.
Well, let's find out if Cryptik can find their first win in the SML. They're up against Sanguine here, and the casters are standing by.
Thanks a lot, Cram. Thanks a lot, Anatoly. Tom Battinger here with Ryan Agro Bailey and Doug LeBlanc on the observation. Team Cryptik versus Sanguine should be an exciting one. Sanguine has been really, really strong. We've seen them kind of performing pretty well. And Team Cryptik, some good up-and-comers. It should be an interesting kind of side-by-side comparison.
I mean, Sanguine has been a premier team in the North American SML as of late. They had a great performance at the Midseason Invitational, despite not having Jarcorrr with them. This is a team that we should expect to be competing for #1 overall. Cryptik, on the other hand, has struggled, and I think a lot of that is the constant revolving door that they have for all of their players. I mean, it's been MandoWarrior solo, Copebby has been moving around, now Mando's going ADC, and Cope's going solo. I don't get it, to be honest with you, Tom. This team, how are they ever expecting to improve if they're constantly making these roster changes and not sticking with their team and figuring it out? It's hard when you're making all these changes and you don't have a set roster to go over things and improve upon them.
100% agree. You know, I don't think that every team can pull the Cyclone. Of course, that was the name of the team before Rival became Team Rival, where Deathwalker and Wolfie and that whole squad were so successful for a while. But I do think that there's a happy medium where, you know what, once you make a roster change, you've got to stick with it for a number of weeks, win or lose, just to see how it works and if you can fix things. But I think that's just kind of where Cryptik finds itself. It has to be outside forces at this point, and that's unfortunate on the one hand, but impressive that they've been able to kind of tread water this long as is. MandoWarrior switching over to the other side of the map is very questionable. And Ronngyu just going to show us just how wrong it can go. One death for the Chronos won't end the game, but that is exactly what I expected to happen.
This is a tough one to have your switch up be on its debut against. Is Sheento in a lot of trouble? No flicker for him.
Nice
no
change.
way to get away. A little bit too late on the purification beads. Maybe should have respected that blink groggy strike from the very beginning.
Yeah, I really liked the approach there. Sibyl just going for it, understanding that that's the chance they're going to have. The dual lane already kind of in a tizzy, so you got to go ahead and try and find an answer somewhere. It won't quite even us up as far as gold is concerned, but it will allow Cryptik to then look for mid-harpies. They lose the oracles, but that's neither here nor there.
Just setting Sheento a little bit behind. I mean, Diesel, again, this is not his natural role either, natural ADC, so you know that you want to get him comfortable and ahead because he's probably not used to how little farm he's going to end up getting this game in the mid lane.
This is a little bit more of it's weird. This is more of a traditional mix-up, and this might be why MandoWarrior finds himself on that other side. Copebby switching over to the solo lane to allow JinguBang to play here in the jungle. Diesel mixing and matching with his God Pool in the mid lane is something that we've seen some pro teams attempt, something that we've seen some console teams attempt as well. We'll see if Diesel can kind of hold his own here in the mid lane. You mentioned different amounts of farm, positioning also vastly different.
I mean, on the AMC, you're going to be pretty close to where you want to be, but the main thing, I think, is the farm and the laning phase and how much more pressure you are under in the mid lane, just under siege at any given point, basically. As soon as the jungler decides they want to try and kill you, chances are they'll have a pretty good shot at it, and that's pretty different than in the long lane these days, where you have so much extra golden experience that you don't really have to worry too much about what the jungler wants to do, because if they come on over, then you might just be able to kill them yourself.
Right now, Cryptik grouping up here looking for their red buff. And I like this call showing Sanguine that they're grouped up as 3. A lot of times this red buff invade will be where these teams look for their first kind of lead. JinguBang even contests the mid Harpies, so kind of 2-1. Team Cryptik get their buff, no problem. Sanguine still leading by just short of 1,000. Cope here on the right side. The Amaterasu going to lose this fight, but in the mid lane, we've got a larger one. Spin to win, good for Panitom. In trouble, Diesel finds the follow-up. Great use of the bees, but Sibyl might trade himself out. The chase from Ronngyu. Sheento doesn't have it. Netrioid pops the slow-mo. And Sibyl goes down in bullet time, 2-2.
Great rotation in from Netrioid. He really leveraging that early gank that Ronngyu gave him, which allows him to get his boots up first. MandoWarrior only on boots 1, so Netrioid not only going to be able to rotate faster physically with the movement speed, but also out clear, meaning that he'll lose less by doing it. But I've loved Sibyl's aggressiveness so far this game. He's been very aggressive with these blinks in, and it seems to be the one to really be dictating a lot of these engagements. That's exactly what you want your support to be doing in the early game.
Without a doubt. Right side, Cope could be in some trouble. Ronngyu gonna just force out the ult. His presence alone shows up. It's kind of nice. Doesn't push a single button, and Cope forced into the ultimate to try and get to safety without being threatened by any of the nonsense. A lot of CC on that Horus kit.
It is, but I mean, I'm not a solo laner. I'm not super familiar with what you can do at this point in the game as a solo laner, but maybe MandoWarrior doesn't need to ult in that spot. The lack of familiarity with your role can end up playing a part in moments just like that, where you make yourself vulnerable by using the ultimate where maybe you didn't need to. Again, I'm not saying that's what happened, but maybe Cope did or did not, but it's a matter of if Sanguine's going to be able to punish, and with characters like Thor and Horus, it's pretty easy to get over to the solo lane and get a punish in while you can.
We'll see if that's where Sanguine decide to send their forces, or if Team Cryptik will be able to kind of wiggle their way out of it. Whether or not Sanguine looks at them is a different story. Level 5s all across the board at this point, so all ultimates online and ready to go. Netrioids will be up in just a matter of moments. And that was a big brain rotation, I think, earlier, because he showed up knowing, I just need to show up and drop ult. That's all I have to do in this mid lane to get that kill. Now, he's going to have to defend against his own purple. Just kidding. Team Cryptik will walk away.
Olorun is one of those characters that you want to try and gank early on. You just might not be able to really get it going in your favor.
Mid lane, a little bit more action as Panitom finds a way out this time. Ronngyu lands in the middle as Sanguine trying to push this one. JinguBang lands forward, though. There's Panitom aggressively in the middle lane, gets the spin, one goes down. JinguBang answers back to the aggressive jungler. So Panitom picks one up, then himself falls down, so it's a 1-for-1.
Beads down for Diesel, though, makes him pretty vulnerable for the next 2 minutes or so, but a little bit of lack of patience there from Sanguine. Ronngyu just kind of slams his CC into the CC immunity of Diesel. Once you already used the knockup, we knew that his beads were up still, then still glowing gold, but he slams that fracture into him. If he holds that and is able to CC Diesel in place for Panitom, might not have needed to die.
Right now, MandoWarrior is going to die. That's kill number 2 on the Chronos player. Ward vision is there, and Ronngyu walked up way too close. That was, you know, I of course can't say with 100% certainty, but this eye saw a lack of map awareness.
Yes, has to be. I mean, you're right. There's ward coverage on both entrances. Maybe Ronngyu could have looped from gold down towards red, underneath towards purple, and not hit that ward, but it doesn't look likely to me. I think that covers everything. Mando probably got a ping about it, just didn't realize it.
It's a little bit rough there. And that goes to, you know, kind of what we're talking about when it comes to the looseness when you're just learning your role. Because those are, you know, in the mid lane, your eyes will naturally go to these entrances. Whether or not you have wards there, just because you're used to looking at those spots, you know? You're used to looking at that spot. Here over in the duo lane, it's an adjustment.
Sure is. Cope, again, forced out of his ultimate by Jarcorrr. Berserker Shield for Cope is one that we don't see that much of. We've seen a little bit of it on Ama previously, but I don't know how much I love it in this instance. Ama does do more basic attacking than she really gets credit for, but still. Glad Shield, pretty good just for the CDR alone.
Well, Glad Shield... Oh,
Hello.
Sanguine in for show up Sibyl underground. He didn't expect that. That was fun to watch, folks. You like to see it.
I'm very surprised that didn't turn immediately into a crime reference of some sort, you know?
Excuse me?
Like you pick a fight with a guy and then you don't realize his boys are all coming out of the bar right behind him. You know what I mean?
No.
Oh. I'm not saying you would have known what I meant. I'm just saying I'm a bit surprised that you didn't make an analogy similar to that.
All right.
Because that's what I thought of.
Oh. Well, then why didn't you make it?
I just don't know if I'm the right party, you know?
Diesel wish he was at any other party. Even the solo laner's showing up. Hardcore jumps over the mid laner to find Diesel. Copebby dashes away. Amaterasu's interesting because Amaterasu's a non-shield using player usually. Glad Shield doesn't do what you want it to do with Amaterasu because it's a long, only one of her abilities is going to hit the enemy, and it's a long cooldown. And it one-shots the wave or it doesn't. There is no multiple approach to it. You either one-shot and you basically down. So usually we just see Amaterasu go into other items altogether.
Yeah, it's usually boots and a Blackthorn.
Yeah, so the Zerker shield is interesting, and no part of it is because usually you're buying Zerkers instead of Glad, and that's a mistake. I don't know. I'll have to see how this one works out because right now, you know, the sustain is nice.
Plus the attack speed boots. I mean, like I said, Ama autos a lot more than you think. She
Yeah.
has to apply that passive. You've got a lot of extra attack speed now with this build, but I don't know. Osiris is just one of those characters that makes it really hard to outbox.
I mean, Osiris is, you know, the boxer, I would say, of the game. The whole, not only how fast his attack chain is, but how low his cooldowns are and how it works. I mean, you know, 1-2 sickle, 1-2 circle, 1-2, that's the whole thing. You want to make sure that you're able to get those resets in. I think he's the best boxer. Him, Bologna, who else are you looking at?
Yeah, Bologna is hard to box up against because of the block stacks and the disarm, for sure.
JinguBang going to jump on Sheento. Has a knockback, but the flip kick avoids it. Here comes help from Sibyl. Panitom mezzed out. Netrioid drops the defensive ultimate, while the rest of Team Cryptik do the Gold Fury. That's a beautiful play there from Cryptik. They catch Sanguine kind of sleeping. They go for the objective. They zone, and nobody's there to zone. So they go and zone even further. That was cute.
That was very well played. You get a good amount of resources out of Sanguine at the same time.
Yep.
Beads from Sheento, ultimate from Netrioid. So that was a nice play overall from Cryptik, and those are the sorts of things that you got to do if you want to beat a team who's seeded better than you and historically has played better than you.
Absolutely.
Try and move them around the map and take objectives where you can.
Nicely played there. I'd like to see some more of that from Team Cryptik. Honestly, again, I've got to say, Sibyl seems to be leading the charge. I don't have an ear in comms, but I can certainly see his, can I say body language? Like the way he's driving his character around. You know, he's always positioning aggressively. He's always kind of starting these fights, and there it kind of looked like he was dictating what was going on.
JinguBang as well has been right on the same page as Sibyl all day so far, even at level 1 or 2, whatever that was, where they kill Sheento. Those two were on the same page from minute 1, so it's been a good job by the jungle and support, and that's usually who you want doing the majority of your shot calling.
Yeah.
The jungler is telling you where he wants to go and who to kill, whereas the support is setting him up and helping the backline.
You know, I was gonna say it's that's the pair that you want to be playing well as well, because they're gonna execute strong on the battlefield. And in a different vein, we talked a lot about Cope and MandoWarrior and Diesel kind of switching positions, right? Cope and MandoWarrior are going to be on an island by themselves. They can make some mistakes, but then late game will be late game. Sibyl and JinguBang and Diesel, these guys need to work as the core. This 3v3 is so integral in the mid game that's really what you want to lean on anyway.
Yes, jungle and support are the best. If I had to build a team from scratch with like Madden stat lines,
right,
who do I want my 2 best players to be? I want it to be jungle and support, because those two affect the entire map with their reach. Jungler spends a lot of time in solo during the game. Support spends time everywhere during the game. Mm-hmm. So you just cover the most effectively this way.
Thor's going to go up as Cryptik start a fight, but they spread perfectly. They're ready for WoW Classic. Panitom shows up, and nobody's there to answer the door. That was impressive. The fact that all three of them were hugging, and as soon as they heard Thor land, they all spread out in different directions. That was really impressive.
Still got beads from Diesel, but beads from Panitom at the same time. Plus, you got Rongyu's ultimate. Basically, a completely even trade at this point. Just JinguBang has a little bit more CDR with the Blackthorn hammer. Panitom's still working on his Blackthorn, or what I assume will be Blackthorn. Could also be Runeforged. We've seen the Runeforged Thor a little bit. Blackthorn just seems to be a little bit more consistent, I would say.
I prefer the Blackthorn on the Thor. The idea behind Runeforge is that you're going to kill somebody with your combo anyway, and they're stunned during your combo. But to that I say, you're going to kill somebody anyway, you know? So I'd rather have the health.
Yeah, I mean, you get a little bit of health with Runeforged, but I agree. The CDR coming from Blackthorn is also really nice.
More so that than the health at all.
Cope really liking his attack speed with this build. Toxic Blade right away, and
so
if I'm on Sanguine, I go, okay, that's fine. We're just going to insta-kill you.
Yeah. Yes. I don't think I hate the idea of the Toxic Blade in and of itself, but it has to come much later. Because in this mid-game, this is where you're going to be kind of making these team fights happen. Amaterasu does have some sustain built in with her own heal, but that is something that you feel playing Amaterasu, right? You are a fantastic contributor because of your aura passive. Your auras are fantastic. Movement speed can win the game. Power can win fights and burn objectives down, and sometimes you don't notice it until you really, really look at it, right? But after you ult, you silence, and then you just kind of like walk it around. That basic attack is important with the passive, and it might make you want to use it a little bit more.
Diesel in a ton of trouble. This Sanctified Field cuts him down with ease. Plus Ronngyu ate the Stinger for Netrioid. That's the support play you love.
JinguBang jumps on 3 of them. But a beautiful ultimate by Ronngyu. Kind of predicted that. Got him safe under tower. 4 players still standing for Team Cryptik. Sanguine are all ready to play. Fury respawns in 9 seconds. The Latin Americans are totally ready to take it. But instead, they're going to look towards the mid lane.
Not a lot of ultimates left on the table for Sanguine. In fact, it's only Jarcorrr who has his. Diesel's going to be up in 3 seconds. That means they have a very small window in which to take this 5v4. They're going to lean more on the fact that they've got beads down on a couple characters than anything else.
A 1,500 gold lead as well. That's about tied, but Mando's going to show up in the middle and might get tied up. Ronngyu is here, and everybody's on the other side of the Thor wall. MandoWarrior falls down. Panitom, MVP of that team fight. Copebby on the back line looking for Ronngyu, though. One shot will do it. Meanwhile, over here, Sheento gets the kill on a
JinguBang,
and Ronngyu gets out.
Perfect fight so far from Sanguine. Diesel's dead to rights. Jarcorrr has just done whatever he's wanted so far in this engagement. And now Cope has rejoined the fray, but remember what we said earlier, not particularly tanky.
This was one of those team fights where a little bit of luck came into play. Sanguine separated into 3 separate team fights and had exactsies, like exact lethal on some of these players. And if it didn't go down that way, Sanguine would have lost that fight. But they found exactly, Ronngyu gets out with 1 HP, Pon style. You just see this all over the team fight. Ouch.
Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, the fight starts off as an instant loss as soon as MandoWarrior wastes rewind. He wasted beads when he got double tapped over here by the purple buff not too long ago, and immediately everyone on Sanguine knew that there's a good kill opportunity, just like Mando has right now onto Ronngyu. But with no beads, that means he's forced into a rewind in his head. I think it was a really bad one, because if he just Aegises and runs out in between the tier 1 and tier 2 tower, Jarcorrr might kill him, but it's a big overextension. He's underneath your tier 2 at that point. Instead, he rewinds right into the teeth of Sanguine, and it lets the whole team really collapse in, and it baits Cryptik into a bad fight to try and save Mando. The build for Cope has been completely ineffective. I really feel like this role swap has worked very poorly. I think it's actually actively hurt Cryptik.
I have to agree. I think that when it comes to Diesel is the role swap that I'm least offended by. He's an old Hunter player playing Hunter to the mid lane, right? Okay, we've even seen some other people do that. Cope moving from jungle into the solo lane, that's something that we've seen before, but when you build like a jungler, you're going to get beaten up like a jungler. Jarcorrr here doing work, Panitom in the air, lands defensively like the safety, looking for his homie. Here comes Ronngyu, and that's that. But MandoWarrior, I mean, you're going from playing thick tanks every game to a squishy mage like Chronos. It doesn't surprise me that the rewind comes early. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Mando in particular loves a lot of his Guardians, played a ton of Geb in his SML career. Very different playstyle.
Ronngyu surrounded. He's gotten out many times. And this will be the first time he'll actually get put down. Team Cryptik with a rare opening looking for the Pyromancer. They're down 5k. They will take a bite back thanks to the objective. But Netrioid across the world taking care of a tier 1 and pushing a tier 2. Team Cryptik going to use that as an invitation to the Fire Giant.
Frenzy used, Fire Giant, half the team still on it, the other half decides they need to fight. Finally, Cryptik get off the objective just in time to kill Panitom.
MandoWarrior still trying to decide what he wants to do. Nice pullback by Sheento. That was really good use of the arcane stance. Jarcorrr walks into a whole mulberry bush. And JinguBang gets the kill. Netrioid has gotten a tier 1 and a tier 2. Laughed at the honey.
Just a little bit short.
Didn't even move.
Yep. No
just
fear at all.
kept backing. Just
no fear at all.
Netrioid's like, I've played this position longer than you.
Netrioid's an AMC main, man.
He knows it.
You can't be expecting to catch him off guard with that character.
The rise of Sanguine has been really impressive to watch, honestly, because this feels like just going to work, clocking in, clocking out. They're doing a lot of the right things. Their composition is relatively late game. Is there anything that like Sanguine could have done to find themselves up 10k or have an absorbent lead? Because it feels like they're beating Cryptik really hard, but they don't have that large of a lead.
No, they don't, and there's still a lot of gold on the map for Cryptik to take, which is usually a very good sign that if you win one team fight from here, if you're Cryptik, you'll even or take the lead in this game. I mean, Ronngyu his positioning has been a little bit off so far. He's gotten picked a couple times on a very mobile character in Horus, but it's an unintuitive mobility. I would say it's a learned mobility.
Yeah.
I think is a better word for it. And I'm sure he's very comfortable on this character, but if you haven't been playing a bunch of Horus like yesterday, it sometimes takes a little bit to realize just how much you can get away with on that character.
Mid lane, focus one more time. On the town walls off, Sibyl. Who has been, in retrospect, I think my answer to that question is Sibyl's been very effective at finding something every single team fight. Team Cryptik get punched, and Sibyl makes sure to punch back. Saying we're getting a little bit aggressive here.
I also think Panitom hasn't been as spectacular as he usually is. In the jungle, Cope's got a great angle to this fight, forces the chain chance right away from Sheento. Is immediately going to try and run away as Netrioid has to hang JinguBang on the back.
And that's a blown ultimate. Netrioid, the Olorun, drops it. Because of that, Sanguine knows they kind of want to force something, and it's Panitom that goes aggressive. Whole lot of nothing, though. Team Cryptik kind of come up good there. And now's where they're going to look to punish. Frenzy's popped on both sides. Cryptik playing very carefully. I like the caution. I really do like the caution. They still have a number of resources available to them if Cryptik wants to go ahead and get aggressive.
No beads on Chronos or AMC, but Ronngyu may have gone a little bit too
more.
far forward. Cope finally get a finish of no. Diesel actually gets the killing blow.
Netrioid gets Sibyl on the back end, and the stun sets up JinguBang and Diesel. 2 for the mid lane Hunter, but Jarcorrr puts him down. 3 for 2 so far. Sanguine are on the receiving end, and Jarcorrr will fall down for the entire Dia side. Cope, Jingu, and Mandu, can they do it?
Yeah, they can definitely do it. Cope's going to be able to tank this up and provide enough damage with the aura and with the passive. Just an odd fight, though, from Sanguine. I mean, Panitom has really been ulting directly in the face of Cryptik members and not finding a whole lot off of those dunks. I like this patience to get the Fire Giant for Sibyl as well, just to give your support a little bit of extra regen. But yeah, really rough team fight so far. I think from Panitom has really hurt them. Netrioid has been forced into these sanctified fields early because he hasn't been getting a lot of peel on the backside. I'd like to see Sanguine turn and help off of JinguBang's blink initiations instead of forcing Netrioid to try and handle it by himself, because he's going to have a tough time, and Ravana is one of those characters that does very well up against Olorun. He's got 2 different versions of ways to get out of that sanctified field, overhead kick and mystic rush, both negate that ultimate completely. And Olorun just really struggles against characters like Ravana, who lock you in place for a little bit and just go to town. Olorun has no way to get away from that.
Gold Fury is going to be started here by Team Cryptik, who just tied the game. 13-11. We're 24 in. We've got a barn burner here. This is a good one, and surprisingly so. Both teams kind of doing the opposite of what we're used to. Sanguine, I'm used to seeing just real, fundamental, clean Smite. You know what I mean? They're not. They have studied for years.
They're the Spurs of the minor league.
I love it, baby. They have studied pro league teams for years. They're one of the only international teams that are still involved, and that's because of their dedication to the craft. Rarely are they too quick on the trigger. And like you said, we've watched Panitom just like ult into the face of people. They look like Armada. Meanwhile, Cryptik, on the other hand, this is a team that doesn't stay on the same page for more than half the class. And they're the ones sitting back on their heels, slowly playing it safe and letting Sanguine walk into issues.
Oh, they've walked into plenty of issues. And as I highlighted earlier, there's plenty of gold left on the map for Cryptik, so they can take the lead quickly and effectively if they were to win a fight. And they're already up 3K. Still another 3K in these 2 tier 2 towers that are still standing. Look, it isn't over by any stretch. Sanguine is definitely capable of making a comeback in this game, but it's going to require a comeback at this point. They are now behind solidly.
It's a real one to be sure. Fire Giant's going to be on Cryptik for a little while as well. They're going to look to shift over to the right lane. The tower's still standing there and in mid. I'd like to see the 1-4 push. That's what's going to happen. Team's going to group up on 4. Ravana will back to base, finish purchasing whatever he's buying. The Enchile, it looks like. And then he'll head up and help them clear out. If you're Sanguine, do you defend on your tier 2 here?
Yeah, you're not so far behind that you can't afford to fight at this position. I think that it's really just been a case of poor initiation so far for Sanguine, and that can be remedied in the middle of a game. You can just, honestly, you can just stumble into a good initiation sometimes, or you can realize what's going wrong and change it. So, I mean, you look at where Panitom is right now, he can fade on over to the left side, take into the jungle, and find a Thor dunk from that area without any sort of ward coverage at this point from Cryptik.
Well, right now, Cryptik are going to start knocking on the door of Sanguine. They've had the lead for about 3 minutes now. The rest of it has belonged to Sanguine. Comes a frenzy from Sanguine, who anticipated a huge Cryptik initiation, and instead, it's a Sanguine dunk on Cope.
Yeah.
They don't get the tower!
Yep.
That's rough. If everybody turns around to hit the loot pinata that's Cope, and the tower is burned in time, I mean, it's an ugly version of it, but we see that all the time. Solo laner zones, you go and get the tower, everybody walks home and makes fun of Cope. But this was a little bit rough because they were one shot short.
Now Sanguine have a great opportunity. I mean, Cope's got teleport up in 27 when he respawns, so not bad. You can get here and defend if Sanguine, say, try and push the right side tier 2 or just take a long time on this.
Sibyl's going to go in, try and keep him at bay. Sheento's the target. Aegis is down and used. Dot's still ticking. Diesel's good from a distance. Nice play there. Go Bees. Trouble for Netrioid as he didn't aggressed by the support, but he's saved out by the jungle, and MandoWarrior shows up and puts down Ronngyu. Double kill for Mando. Jarcorrr falls down. Cryptik honestly made a mistake, but then fought perfectly into the onslaught.
Sibyl just finds another perfect blink initiation. Someone's got to try and put him in combat. I mean, Jarcorr's got to get on top of him and do what he can. And until then, Sheento and Netrioid need to be standing further back so that they don't get hit by that blink.
Mid lane Phoenix, Panitom in the air, and we'll get a great dunk. 1 kill for the Thor, 2 kill for the Thor. He's out of there, and he's out of Copebby's stun range. Still getting picked down. The attack speed coming into play now. But the minions block out Cope.
Yeah.
They got the tower?
They got the tower. See, you say the attack speed coming into play, but maybe some power would have helped.
Yeah.
You're not building that much power on soul laners anyways, but if that Toxic Blade is a Blackthorn Hammer, Panitom's dead.
You think so?
Yep. Yep. I definitely do. That's a great defense, though, by Sanguine. I mean, Sanctified Field is really good, especially when your carries don't have beads. And just like that, now they are back in control of this game. It's really been a game of throws in every single way.
Yep.
As soon as one team starts feeling confident, they have a terrible engagement, and it goes the other team's way. And then that team decides to repay that kindness with a bit of kindness of their own.
Sanguine right now, though, have the look of a team. We've seen top-end teams kind of do this before, and then every now and then towards the end of it, you just snap into it. You know what I mean? Right there, Sanguine go, all right, calm down, group up, Fire Giant, Frenzy. We're going to pick up this Oni Fury. That'll push out the lanes here for Sanguine, and they'll look to clean up the 2 towers and look for what could be the final push. So a nice look right now. Still trailing 3,000 gold. Worth to note, there are some items yet to be purchased. So Sanguine still 2,000 there as the Gold Fury goes down.
Sanguine just going to wait around until their relics are up. You really can't afford to take a fight with Sheento not having any relics whatsoever. Netrioid, no Aegis for 30 seconds. These are cooldowns that are coming back quickly, so you may as well play it patiently. In fact, I don't even want to see Sanguine push this wave particularly hard. Wait until the next one and have your carries have Aegis.
Well, Cope's around the corner. You're right, Netrioid won't have it for 16 seconds. Everyone else good. Your mid laner should have it right about now. So Sanguine going to lightly push, but that's important. Panitom's in the left jungle. Eyes are already on Cope. That's why you see Jarcorrr and Ronngyu towards the entrance and the carries in the middle. Beautiful positioning coming out from Sanguine. Watch that backside. Copebby looking for the flank. Not going to get it. Sanguine seeping into the right side jungle, undeterred. Cope backs to base, nobody knows it. He backed on a sentry ward, that was intentional. Sanguine now pushing in the middle lane. Light damage. Team Cryptik less willing to show up. Last time, Sibyl blink ulted. That certainly changed the tune, but Cryptik here just posturing. Sanguine get a tier 2.
Good poke on a Ronngyu, mostly courtesy of the tower, but Sheento played that engagement very differently than the last one. He didn't want to be anywhere near Sibyl in that fight. Still, Sanguine probably don't feel like they can afford to just walk in and tank a tier 2 at this point. Don't necessarily blame them, but I would like to see Jarcorrr play a little bit more aggressively on that front line. A little confused as to why Cryptik don't at least clear out this Oni wave. If they're not going to defend that tier 2 in middle, you could have at least saved the tier 2 on right, but even after, you see Sanguine go into the right jungle, so you really can't step up and defend tier 2 right, even though you want to, and it ends up losing you a bunch more gold.
I think the play for Cryptik there was everybody be here in case Sibyl finds it, right? Because all of these plays from Sibyl have been snap picks. It's just been, I'm chilling. He took one step too far to the left, blink in, pop him up, let's put him down. That's how Cryptik have been playing this, just off of like everybody is in like runner stance and just waiting for Sibyl, who's the pistol. And I think that's what it was. But like you pointed out, Sheento was like, nope, not this time. So Sibyl's just was up there the entire time, just looking, WASDing, looking, but Sheento did not give him the opportunity. So well played by Sanguine to stay out of range, and you know, Team Cryptik's entire plan of watch Sibyl pick a dude and we'll kill them kind of gets put to stone.
So if you expect Sheento to do the same thing again,
yep,
it's time for Cryptik to change up their initiation strategy, and that's where the good teams are able to do it. I mean, Sanguine's out of this game. They've taken to just letting Cryptik be the initiators themselves and then counter-engaging very nicely. It's time to see if Cryptik can bounce back and find a strategy of their own that can get working.
Sanguine looking like they're going to wait for the next Fire Giant. This is what we call an overcorrection. Like I said, Sanguine kind of played fast and loose. I don't even want to say overcorrection. This is exactly, you know, you play fast and loose, and then somebody puts their foot down and goes, okay, guys, remember the first time we played Smite? That's what we're doing. We've all been there. If you ever played like sports or something, you know, and it's like, all right, you're going to pass it 5 times before anybody shoots every play.
Man, that's how we had to play basketball in gym class in middle school.
Yeah.
It was so terrible. You also couldn't dribble, by the way.
And they're teaching you I don't want to say fundamentals because
Dribbling is how you play the game, Tom.
But at the same time, it's a fundamental drill in the sense that it teaches you how to read the floor by playing it, you know, looking for the passing.
Yeah.
I'm team coach here. That is absolutely a viable drill.
It wasn't, Tom, it was regular gym class. It wasn't basketball practice.
Well, you
Michino just ruined the best unit all year. That's all I'm saying.
Practice how you perform.
You practice how you perform.
Fire Giant here, half HP. Enhanced Fire Giant, half HP. But Sanguine not really looking to hang on the rim there. Retreat from the aggressors. Tie game. Completely. Gold. Kills separated by 3. Who cares? But both teams, Team Cryptik, aren't coming in here with a disadvantage.
Hello.
Everybody's going to start it. Panitom on the backside after Jarcorrr jumps there. And it's all Diesel. 1 HP. Ronngyu chasing. Ronngyu getting. Panitom low, but he's gone. He already did his job. 5 on 4 now. Ryan, you just said the good teams know how to switch up their initiation. What happened differently there?
Sanguine just hit the gas pedal and said, we're killing Diesel. What are you going to do about it? And that's where this kind of role swap, is everyone going to play properly? And is Mando going to know how to peel for his mid laner? Is Cope going to know how to stop that initiation from happening? That's a difficult response, for sure. And I just don't think Cryptik did enough to punish Sanguine for investing 3 ults, 2 blinks, into killing their mid laner. You've got to get something more out of that.
Jarcorrr really looking for it now, jumping one more time. Mando going to burn the rewind, put himself right in the blizzard. Netrioid, the weatherman. Here's Sanguine come, but Sibyl with a great pick. This could be trouble because it stopped the peel, but the damage wasn't enough. Panitom still alive. Everybody a lot more healthy than you might think after that engagement, but Sanguine still hurt. So they are going to back off here.
Sanguine have a lot of like incidental healing though. I mean, you've got to worry about that Olorun 3, you've got to worry about that Horus 3. Both of those will end up being impactful healing out of combat. And that's why Sanguine was able to back up and reinitiate again as soon as Jarcorr's ultimate was back up, which felt instant, by the way.
Yes, it was very fast. And that was something, that's what I wanted to point out about the last engagement, was that Cryptik have been looking for the Thor every time, and that's a audio cue more than a visual cue. You're gonna look up if you know he's ulting, but if you don't know he's ulting, you hear the right before he hits, right? That's what you're looking for. Jarcorrr just jumping over the wall. You're not ready for that. So a different type of initiation both times, and I think that was important for Sanguine to kind of mix it up. Cope on the flank. Fire Giant leashed out here by Sanguine. This time, they spent a lot of time on it. But Sheento going to get his relics chased out by Cope.
Cope so far forward again, but Sibyl there to help him this time around. I just don't know that anyone else can get in.
Sibyl by himself trying to take care of Sheento. If his team won't do it, he'll try to do it himself. Jumped on by Jarcorrr in the passive. Netrioid is here. Body blocks might be good.
Yeah, Sibyl's up here for sure. Netrioid's got some damage coming in, but not enough.
Oh, that was frustration from Sibyl. I mean,
maybe. I mean, he's just trying to bail Cope out, basically,
yeah,
in that moment. And Cope has done that a couple times so far today, where he's going too far forward with this Amaterasu. That time he doesn't get punished for it, but it was awfully close.
The Pridwin now makes him a whole lot tankier. Pridwin and Mantle. Cope maybe a lot tankier than he was before. Fire Giant started again. Sibyl really is the playmaker on this Cryptik team. If Cryptik find a win, I'm going to say it's going to come from the Kumbhakarna. Fire Giant down to 10%. Sanguine not going to leash it, looking for the steal, not going to find it. But on the back line, Sibyl finds Sheento, 50% HP. Copebby trying to find an exit as well. Ronngyu, where are they going to land?
In. They're going in right away to try and help Jarcorrr. Also get Netrioid into a different angle. Diesel falls to Sheento, who was all the way on the back line.
Netrioid gets surrounded by 3 separate players. And Sanguine kind of out of the way. MandoWarrior, no, Team Cryptik gonna group up. They're gonna fall on their own selves. Sibyl goes down. Sheento again with a kill. 3-3 and 8 for the mid laner. Oh, Panitom cuts off the right side because his team's at the left. And that's gonna be the cleanup. JinguBang falling to Jarcorrr.
Cope will be the deicide as soon as he falls. Just a matter of when, though he is awfully fast with that Wingblade proc, maybe able to get away. But I don't even know if Sanguine really need it. Looks like it might just be mid-Phoenix straight to the Titan.
Troublesome for Team Cryptik, but an interesting showing. You know, Ryan, you and I had a lot to say about the role changes, and I think there was a lot to look at with respect to the role changes. But to go 40 minutes with Sanguine is kind of something to talk about. I'm all looking at Sibyl.
Yeah, I agree. I think Sibyl played really well. JinguBang played very well as well. I mean, those two, again, the jungle and support, when those two are playing well, it's going to do an awful lot for you. Mando did a lot of damage that game, but I just didn't feel that impact from him that I usually do out of him in solo. I mean, he's been an impactful solo in the minor league for a long time. Just didn't feel that same level in ADC.
On the other side, Sanguine, like we said, kind of playing uncharacteristically in the beginning of the game and then snapping it back into shape. Panitom, really quick on the trigger a lot of the time, just ulting in their face like you were saying. Sheento repeatedly up a little bit too far. All things changed though. We saw that halfway through it looked like somebody yelled at them and they snapped back into form and brought it back. But an interesting kind of look at what happens if Sanguine's not warmed up.
And make no bones about it, Jarcorrr carried that game like super hard on the Osiris. I mean, think back to we're fighting and what broke that parity. Jarcorrr just blinking on AMC and ending that team fight by himself.
Nice stuff there. Nice stuff there. Fantastic look. And we're going to go to a quick break. We'll be right back with Game 2.
SteelSeries, the official peripheral provider of the Smite Minor League.
And welcome back to the Smite Minor League. I'm HinduMan, and joining me on the desk is Anatoly to break down picks and bans for game number 2. Game 1 went the way of Sanguine there. Cryptik put up a pretty good display, honestly, Toly, but
They really did.
just wasn't good enough.
A lot of back and forth action there. About 17 minutes into the game, it was Sanguine with about a 6,000 gold and experience lead. 10 minutes later, it was actually Cryptik that got that 5,000 to 6,000 gold and experience lead for themselves. Up until finally, it was all even Stevens. They got that one team fight where they got the Fire Giant. Sibyl a little bit too far forward at the end there. And he didn't die, but he had that technical kill where he had to back to base, and his team just got everything else as a result.
You and your technical kills. Into picks and bans we go then. Cryptik with the first pick and Sanguine with the second here. And with how that game went as well, I mean, that Cryptik roster on paper, Tolly, they're a pretty damn strong squad, but I think they're just coming up against a behemoth and Sanguine more than anything else, who've been a bit more disciplined through the years, have kept grinding away. You can tell if you actually catch any of these guys in your games, by the way, they go hard every game.
They do.
Every game.
That's why everyone hates them, obviously, but I mean, for good reason. You have to be able to put it at your all at every single game, no matter if it's the Pro League, Minor League, Console League, or even in your rankings.
Well, that's because it becomes second nature then. Even if you think you're not going hard anymore, you're just doing your average, right? It's like going to the gym. I don't do that. He does. But if you go to the gym and you work out all the time, you'll get fit and healthy and flex these biceps.
Yeah.
Do it.
You want me to? Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna see, you get that sort of muscle, but it becomes easier to do.
It's about practicing good habits,
There you
basically.
go.
You practice the good
I
habits.
don't have
at
good habits.
home so you could execute it on the battleground of the gods.
Oh, I don't practice good habits at home or in work. Horus will be the first pick for Cryptik here. They've banned away the Olorun, the Isis, and the Set. Meanwhile, Sanguine taking away Chronos this time, along with JinguBang and the Erlang Shen. Thor's up and available, and Sanguine are going to go straight to it this time round.
Yeah, I'm expecting good things from Jarcorrr on the solo lane. I'm expecting him to play the Thor necessarily, but I think Panitom will pilot that very well.
I think it's kind of tricky for Jarcorrr in this set because Cope is in that lane as well at the moment, and Cope is a very solid mechanical player as well. He's shown his ability through the years.
So it's interesting, right? Because Cope actually drafts the Amaterasu last game, where Sanguine still has one more pick to go, and they got the counter matchup of the Osiris. And Jarcorrr ran that lane to the point where he ended the game at top player damage, 35,000. The next to his name was the Merlin at 23,000.
It's still a solo lane though. A lot of that damage is fake. It's still fake. It's always gonna be fake. Just because this guy's a solo lane does not mean it's real damage. Okay?
I don't want to hear that because no one's building Mystical
damage.
Mail anymore, so you can't even consider it fake damage. This is
but nobody dies in the lane. It's just love taps for days. That's all it is.
I mean, you're getting them out of lane, you're getting their blue buffs, you're getting all the goody gumdrops.
Anhur and Ares locked in for Cryptik. Sanguine responding with the Terra alongside that Thor earlier on, and now a Hell pick as well. Hell's really useful with those cleanses against the Ares to just avoid some of those no escapes.
Very telegraphed once you're about to be pulled. Plenty of time to line up that cleanse. I like this draft already from Sanguine to be able to get that offense from the Thor and also the defense between the Terra and the Hell.
With how the picks have come through though, Horus is definitely in the support role. Ares is flexible then to the jungle or even solo. We don't see that often. But then I'm a little bit worried about how Cryptik can look to try and answer this back with their last two picks here. Needs some magical damage for sure in the mid lane, but what would it be?
Yeah, Poseidon is still available. Wouldn't be a bad idea to get that cripple against the Terra.
Oh, okay.
You want to try to disable her dashes through the monolith, so that wouldn't be a bad idea. Kraken does a lot of damage.
It's not a bad idea, actually. If you think about it more as well, Divine Ruin, pretty useful, so a bit of anti-heal there. I always worry in a Hell game that you want to clock. It's just the old days of, like, eventually she's going to get online and just heal everybody for days.
I think Outwash wouldn't be a bad idea to control a lot of space, the fleeting zombie as well, to be able to stop that healing.
We mentioned some anti-heal, and Raijin can definitely do that with Raijin, his second ability there. We'll be able to proc that Divine Ruin on multiple targets, so it could be pretty impactful, but it does kind of force him into that direction. Batz in tow should give the game away that, hang on, who's going solo on Cryptik? Is it going to be the Ares? The problem is that if you put Ares solo, like Sanguine, no, it's either going to be Ares or Horus, right? You think it's a cheeky monkey over there?
No, I think it's going to be the Ares, actually, in the solo lane. Batz is not as good as the others in the solo lane. You would have to rush Transcendence. You're going to lack a lot of mobility while you're trying to invest those stacks. It's just kind of problematic.
Okay, Pele's the final pick here, which tells me, well, absolutely nothing about who's going solo lane for Sanguine then. Thor, Terra?
I think Thor probably would be your best bet. It could be Thor's support and Terra solo lane, but you have to be aggressive in the solo lane. I want to see Thor.
Well, game 2 is about to begin. Let's get it over to the casters. It's your boy, F-Dot.
That's it. It's only you, man.
That's it.
I guess I can go.
All right, I'll see you later, man.
No, I want to stay. The game 1 was too good. I want to see what happens in game 2.
You sure?
Yeah.
All right.
I know.
And aggro.
Oh, man. I almost got
Ryan Bailey.
Me? Are you? There's another Ryan Bailey out there. I don't know if he meant me.
Ryan Aggression Bailey.
I mean, I used to go by Aggression, but I don't think it's me still. It's probably not me.
I think it's you.
Okay.
I'm still here, too. Hey, Doug,
true.
are you still here?
He's here.
There he is. Copebby and Hardcore going head-to-head here. Cope trying out the Ares solo. So an interesting look for sure. Thor won't be able to teleport to his hammer. That'll be a fun one. Panitom on the Pele, an interesting choice. But looking at how Hardcore was playing the Osiris last game, I'm very excited to see him play the Thor. Thor solo is a character that people like to talk about a lot.
Oh, Mando just barely gets purple.
Oh, man. But he can't pick it up.
Can't pick it up.
Can't pick it up.
This is, well, he can, but it's going to be just going to be a little bit. Ronngyu, oh, this is cheeky. He doesn't have his jump. Yeah, Mando's got to use that.
Yep. For those that don't remember, a little bit of a slow in those basic attacks.
when you've got your stones up.
Right. That's why.
Which is most of the time. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm super down for trying to find new things and new ways to exploit the meta.
Right.
It's just that when I think of super sick mages from ahead, Raijin isn't super high up on that list right now.
You don't like Raijin, but
no,
Raijin brings the pain.
Not that much anymore, he doesn't.
Well, Hardcore going to feel the pain here. Cope with the flames, but there's a little bit of a heal for
he's
Hardcore. He gets out!
Yeah, that's fair.
You know what that is? That is Hardcore going, I know how Warrior's Blessing works. I don't even need a relic.
He's going to get TP eventually, or maybe he won't.
That's the play. So basically what happens is he's coming to lane, and he's going to see if he gets forced out. If I need to get teleport, I will. But if not, I'll just hang out and buy a teamfight relic.
Yeah, I mean, I really like this. That in my mind, there's literally no reason to buy teleport at level 1.
Exactly.
You gain nothing from it. I mean, unless you're having a tough time scrolling through the menus and takes you a long time to pick out teleport. Maybe you accidentally buy beads because they look kind of similar.
We had a player do that earlier in the week.
That was Cursed Ankh, actually.
Yep. Cursed
Instead of
Ankh
beads.
instead of beads.
Shout out to that man.
You gotta love it. The best was when because original teleport looked just like beads.
Yeah.
And that happened a lot.
Yeah. I mean, even now they look similar. Both blue,
Yes.
circular. I can see it. Otherwise, if that's a problem for you, then yeah, hold on to it. But I think that waiting to buy your relic, I mean, Jarcorrr does end up going teleport, but
It's because he gets forced out. If Cope doesn't see, if we don't see the gank here on the right side, and Hardcore is just able to like farm the lane, get some sustain with the Warrior's Blessing, pop his potions, I think it's long enough for Hardcore to kind of wait it out, go home, and play the game as is. But not going to be the case here. Gets forced out because of the gank. Doesn't die, but has to go back to base. So now the teleport is demanded.
also was probably considering Purification Beads as his first relic instead. Yeah. You've got an Ares and a Hun Batz. Either ultimate kills you, so you kind of need beads for both. But at that point, is having beads even worth it? Because one will force it, the other will punish you for it. I don't mind the idea for him to stay away from the beads and just be really careful with his ultimate, but he's going to have to be really careful with that ultimate.
Well, I figured the game plan was to buy beads at level 1, but what if I get pushed out of lane? Okay, now I have teleport, I'll buy beads at level 12.
Yep. Sounds good to me.
JinguBang level 5 blinks in. Sheento in trouble, gets hit by the ultimate, cleanses, but the damage still here. Shell is strong, there's the dash. Diesel with the last hit. Sheento goes down, first blood for Team Cryptik.
I said so much about Sibyl being the fight starter and the initiator in game 1, but that was all JinguBang all by himself. That's the one. I mean, Hell has a lot of going for sure, but when you have to walk that close to the wave to clear it,
yep,
you're in danger, and JinguBang puts it on display.
Which you don't have to. Sheento gonna clear that from back. Oh well.
You still have to walk pretty close in comparison to a lot of other mages. You still have to be on top of your melees in order to clear with Dark Stance 1. Sheento did not have to be halfway through the wave with Dark Stance 3, though. You are right.
Ronngyu running away here. Yeah, that's old school style Hell. That's part of what made Hell, I'll use the word viable. You couldn't really play her before when you had to walk in the middle of the lane. We'd see it from time to time, but it was really like a specialty pick. Hell, still a specialty pick, but picked more often now because she can actually do the job. And last time we saw Hell picked at the Pro League, Paul played her straight up mage style. All power, top player damage. It was impressive.
Yeah, but that's Paul. You know?
That's Paul, baby.
That is Paul. Nothing you can do about that.
He's fun to watch, isn't he?
Yep.
Good stuff. If you are just a fan of the minor league, our Pro League airs every Thursday and Friday at 11, right here on the same channel. You don't want to miss it. Copebby doesn't want to miss this one. And I think Hardcore is going to miss that one. Cope gets 2 chains. Now looks for the ultimate. Hardcore going to get pulled. So is Ronngyu. Copebby winning the 1 versus 2. Hardcore tried to cover the option, thought it'd be good enough. He needed to hit that.
I mean, everyone on this side of the map just this has not been Sanguine's day mechanically. Can I say that? I mean, they have been very very suspect in comparison to how good they usually are in that department. I mean, Ronngyu misses Terra route, which really shouldn't happen that often. And then Jarcorrr 10 miles off the mark with the ult.
JinguBang gonna
That was sick.
drop it. Sheento turns around. Diesel one more time in the jungle. Sheento's still alive, heals, but immediately gets hit by the impale. Panitom shows up though, and the lightning is good and takes down Diesel. A 1-for-1. Mid laners exchanged.
That was nice from both ends, honestly. The impale quick on the trigger finger there for Diesel, and needed to, because otherwise that fight goes really poorly. Beautiful hammer there by Jarcorrr. Starting to get into a bit of a rhythm. But then that pre-cleanse from Sheento, there is a little bit of a delay on that. Heard the ultimate coming down from JinguBang and cleansed himself. Didn't have purification beads at the time. Now they're up. But at the time, those were down and still didn't get punished for it.
Love it. A lot of times, you know, you'll see Hells not really pay attention to that. You've got to be able to use the in-between time between the drop and the actual CC. But get your cleanse, man. Incredibly powerful.
Yeah, the Hell players that like don't put points in there too until they're 1 and 3s.
You
and
max out you Uller it.
Yeah, hate it.
Yeah, I hate it.
Imagine thinking that AoE CC immunity is bad.
Also, I get not leveling the ultimate forever, but 1 point gets you 30 power.
Yeah, I'm down with that. Sign me up. Oh, I guess you got to do the math on is 30 power worth it in scaling in comparison to the base damage that you're getting from putting an extra point in it.
The
and
thing
I don't
is,
know if it is.
It's spread out amongst 4 different abilities. So you've got damage on your 3 and your 1, but also healing, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's so multifaceted that the power's a huge deal. Plus, the MP5 and the MP5 when you're in the other stance.
Yeah, we like the MP5 for sure.
Like, 1 point.
It is good.
After that, you get 10 power per point. That's a little
All
different.
I'm saying is I haven't put it in Cret Calc yet, and until I do, I can't make a definitive statement one way or the other.
Sibyl starts another fight, and Panitom pushed into a locker. MandoWarrior on the Raijin. That's aggro's favorite god.
I don't have a hatred for Raijin, Tom. He's just bad right now.
MandoWarrior surrounded, and aggro loves it, but he finds a jump over the wall. Panitom in the air, but Netrioid pulls up and gets the kill.
Sibyl has the CC though. Netrioid will end up falling. A bit too much of a chase, but a huge stun from Ronngyu. Big impale again though from Diesel. Stopped that big damage coming from Sheento's repulse that may have ended up in a double or maybe even a triple at that point because Diesel and Sibyl would have been too low to fight.
See, this is what I mean when I've said this a couple of times. The AMC kind of does everything right. Everything you want. But these high impact plays, you don't really get to see. The switch to the Anhur, immediately Diesel is able to make more happen. I know there's a lot of other variables, but I feel like the AMC doesn't have the displacement and the pillar. You're just clearing waves exceptionally well, and you're providing assisting damage exceptionally well, and you're doing all this stuff exceptionally well. But these huge impact moments, that's like everyone else.
Yeah, it's just, honestly, AMC is a low execution god in comparison. Anhur is very high execution.
Yeah.
It's very hard to play. And Diesel's played him really well so far in this game. Not to say that he didn't play the AMC well before, but you don't... It's pretty rare that we see AMC be like bottom of the player damage charts and completely irrelevant in the game, down a bunch of levels, that kind of stuff. Anhur, that can happen too. A little bit more easily.
Yeah, there's more variance there. You know, modern AMC feels like old school chalk, where players were just, you got to sub into solo, give them chalk. Axe, wait. Team Cryptik gonna go for the Gold Fury. There's the Raijin burst, and it's great. Sanguine watch as the opponent takes the gold and takes the technical lead. Tie game, if you ask me. 4-3. Cryptik in charge.
Yo, that Raijin burst was pretty sick, huh?
Yeah, you like it?
Confirm, A+.
Yeah, you like it?
Yep.
So why do you hate Raijin so much?
I honestly don't. I think he used to be really good. He got a bunch of nerfs. The meta changed. He's a god that does not do well from behind. but also doesn't push lead super well. And that's why I don't think he's very good in this sort of long lane role right now. He pushes leads well, sure, but not nearly as well as a god like JinguBang or Thoth or Vulcan, these characters that really transition super well into the late game. Raijin's mid game, when ahead, is better than all of those gods.
Right.
It's really good. But his late game, it's really easy to dive him. He doesn't put out super insane damage in the late game right now. He was a god that really excelled during the proc build era because he procs really well. Soul Gem, Shaman's Ring, all these sort of items that when Spear of the Magus was nuts, he does really well with those tick-based items that also can spread throughout a team fight. None of those items are super good right now.
And also, like you were saying, his mid game is strong, so when he's in the middle lane, he's more active. Now we don't see those long lane carries until the late game, and his mid game monstrosity is lost.
Right. He's just nothing he does makes me go, wow. No other character could have done that like he used to. He frankly used to do that a lot. Now it's just not as realistic, and that's a normal, healthy progression for a character in a MOBA.
Yeah.
I just don't think he's very good right now.
That's fair.
I played a lot of Raijin when he was really good.
I know.
Good character.
That was your dude. That's what I was saying. Kind of going back on your dude, man.
I don't hate him.
Like I know Zeus, but like Raijin was your guy.
No, if we're talking who my actual guy is, it was definitely Giannis.
Yeah.
I was a Giannis one trick.
I don't know. I like. Oh, here he is.
Couldn't hold it in, huh? Panitom now gonna try and take advantage. MandoWarrior still has Thunder Crash, so he's okay, but still got the beads from Mando, so well worth Panitom's blink.
I remember you mainly as Giannis, Poseidon when Chapo was playing Thor.
Or Chach was playing Athena.
And the other two guys I said, the Zeus and the Raijin. Those are your four. Would you agree or disagree?
Had a little bit of Isis in there, for sure. We played a lot of Isis Thor back in the day. But that was more Season 2 days.
I remember
than
you
Season
playing Isis. I mentioned the other ones.
What's up?
You know.
No, go ahead.
Sheento gets jumped on. Another self-cleanse and the beads, though. So Cope's going to punish that. Sibyl here. He's going to look for something with the ultimate. Nothing. Backside. Diesel gets punished for it. Jarcorrr and Panitom here right in the middle of the team fight. Sibyl barely alive, and Cope getting chased down. 4 players are going to put him in the ground. Panitom double kill. Sibyl already dead. MandoWarrior ultimate. Can he win the fight with Panitom? He gets over the wall. The fear. Golden. Can he make the back?
It's going to be close. Panitom.
Oh, no. Trust your instincts.
Yeah, he might. I don't know if he gets that off.
I think he gets.
He may have. Well, here's the argument. You never live if you stop it.
Yep.
If you stop the back, if you don't stop the back, you got a small percentage chance. But bit of a feels bad. Man does what he can without a Thunder Crash in that spot. Guess not many other mages could have maybe gotten away there, Tom.
It's close. It certainly was close. Team Cryptik suffer as Sanguine win the team fight and look directly for the objectives. And I love how they scatter immediately. Netrioid's like, word, see you later, go back to my lane, get my tower. Thanks, guys. Tier 1 falls down on the left side. Tier 1, a sneeze away in the middle lane.
XP lead has become more of a problem than gold at this point if you're Cryptik. I mean, you've got a 2-level deficit in solo, in mid, in jungle, and then 1-level deficits in your long lane carries. So you're in a not a great spot, but certainly one that you can still fight into. Most of your character deficits still get you to level 12 on your bottom end, so you've got access to your second relic. That's the big one. If you're down level 10 to 12, that feels really bad. 12 to 14 doesn't feel good by any stretch, but certainly feels better.
Problem is, you were talking about mages that feel good to push a lead on. As Diesel, everything, including the kitchen sink, gets thrown at him. MandoWarrior here looking for a play. There he is, getting away to safety. Nice teleport. Panitom up in the sky. MandoWarrior has no clue. Uses beads to get on out of there. Cut down a little bit. Going back to what I was saying is, Sanguine are just gifted the Oni Fury. Hell is a mage that really feels bad from ahead. I mean, you want to play against somebody that's doing more damage to you and then healing herself up after the fact? That is... It just hurts.
She is very hard to play around when she gets a big lead like this, yes. And it's so... When your mid laner is the same level as your long laner, normally it means it's going very poorly. In this instance, it means it's going very well for you on Sanguine. Lots of fights around mid, and, and Sheento and the boys have come out on top in a lot of them.
And at the same time, Netrioid has done his job on the Hachi. He was the one that started that Oni, brought it down while his team tussled in the mid lane. Pyromancer getting low now, and Diesel gonna pop around the backside and can't even make it in time. 2 chains for Cope, knocked up and stunned, and the damage gonna come the other way as the ultimate Fear No Evil sends players to the right. But Panitom gets eaten by the mid lane on her.
Cope gets them back right there. Are you kidding me? Jarcorrr didn't see him, even with JinguBang jumping right near him. That is a lucky. Cope has never been thinner than he was pushed up against that wall, trying not to get spotted by the Thor.
It's like one of those Looney Tune characters with like the lampshade over them.
Yep, that's exactly what it looked like to me. Just the little leaf on top of his head, so he blended in with the trees.
Cope swinging for the fences and looking like Adam Dunn. 10 to 5.
He had a lot of home runs back in the day.
Yeah, that's all he had. Either home run or nothing.
That's right.
And if Ares gets a 5-man pull, that's a home run. Unfortunately, it's nothing.
A lot like the modern day Yankees lineup, wouldn't you say? A lot of home run or nothing, guys.
Oh, no.
Yeah?
You got Aaron Judge up there.
Yeah, I know. That's who I'm talking about. More than anyone else on the roster.
Hey, listen, man. You know, we have 27 rings. It's time for somebody else to give it a shot. I want to give a shout out to our producer Dylan, who's chiming in on this
yeah, we're hitting you from both angles,
backstage.
That's good work by you, D. Keep it up.
A lot of cool esports going on that comes to mind because Dylan, an esports pro himself, a famous Halo player. Shout outs to Proverb and all the Proverb fans.
Man, it's crazy that we had to hire security just to keep all the Proverb fans outside the building.
It really is
Dylan
nuts.
couldn't work.
There's a line every day to get an autograph. We do a meet and greet.
What if we all like put on Dylan masks so that we could help him, you know? We could sign the autographs for him a little bit.
That is a weird solution, but I'm here for it.
Just trying to help out the boy.
Like a Mission Impossible style real looking mask, or like a paper plate with a string.
Yeah, more the paper plate idea, yeah. Listen, man, we're trying to keep it in budget, you know?
What's up?
Hardcore chasing down Cope. Really kind of just a break here. The right side gonna get jumped on. Copebby trying to run away. Here's Panitom doing
Not
work,
gonna
and
hide this
Sheento doing it. Panitom's gonna land right here in the jungle. Get the kill. Hardcore looking good. Sanguine taking their time with this one, but I think that's all they're gonna grab. 2 players down, and they're gonna look for the retreat.
This is easily a much better performance from Sanguine, and they've cleaned up the mechanical issue, I think, on a lot of ends as well.
Clean is the word I'd use.
Much cleaner this time around, for sure. Much more consistent. I also think that Cryptik's draft is not quite as good at fighting into Sanguine's draft this time around. They don't have great gods at applying anti-heal. Well, actually, that's not true. Hunbatz applies it fairly well. MandoWarrior applies it really well on Raijin. He just hasn't bought any. Copebby gets the contagion, so that's anti-heal. We like that. But you really need Divine Ruin here if you're Mando. Ethereal Staff is potentially the best mage item in the game right now. You should be buying it. But you also need Divine Ruin against the Hell Terra.
In place of the Pythags piece, I think. Like that early.
Maybe. I mean, you kind of need the Pythags in the long lane to let you box against the Hunter.
You're right.
So you kind of need the health and a little bit of sustain. Spear is good with the Ares. I just think that you probably go Spear into Divine or Divine into Spear and then E-Staff 5th a little bit later on in the build. I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. If you wait to buy anti-heal until you need it, you've
too
probably lost. It's too late at that point.
21-21 on the clock. Team Cryptik is Sanguine, game number 2. Sanguine up 10K and a game. So they're close to controlling this one. They are controlling this one. They're close to controlling the set. As far as this game is concerned, they've certainly done it. Looking like superstars out here.
You know what building anti-heal is like after losing a team fight because of healing?
What's that?
It's like getting into a car accident and mid-flight through the air, you're like, man, I should be having my seatbelt on right now.
Oh, I thought you meant after impact you put it on.
No, that's what I mean. Like, that's what you're trying to do.
Oh.
You're like, here I go, putting on my seatbelt, but you've been ejected from the vehicle.
Yeah.
By the way, wear your seatbelt. Isn't that a dumb thing people do?
I was
wearing
actually,
seatbelts?
that's very odd. I was just going to tweet the sentence, wear your seatbelt.
Isn't that, like it's so free.
Unprovoked. It really is free. Maybe if it's an uncomfortable car.
Don't care. You know what's uncomfortable? Dying. What? What a terrible argument that is. Where's Finch when I need him, man? I'm about to funch about this. What a terrible argument.
I mean, you know, it could be like tight quarters.
Okay. I can see that this isn't going to go anywhere, so I'm just going to let you have it.
Well, Sanguine are going to the mid lane. Are you going anywhere soon?
I don't know. It depends if we have a game 3 or not.
I mean, in general.
Oh, you mean like around the city?
Yeah.
We got Dragon Con coming up. I think I'm going to stop by there. That sounds like fun.
That's going to be cool. Dragon Con, Skill Shot will be there. We're going to be doing meet and greets for all the players that you want to see. I think Emilzy will be there. And Proverb, the famous
the old
Halo.
Halo Pro?
Yep.
Nice, dude. I got to get my tickets right now for Dragon Con.
You really do. He's going to be signing autographs.
You think he'll give me one?
Oh, man, he just might.
I hope so.
It would be crazy if you got one. Diesel easing away the stun. And Sanguine lightly treading in on the left side. I like how Ronngyu just threw out a stun and did nothing else. All right, dude. Nice beads, buddy. What about when I do it in 10 seconds again?
It's one of those. It's the hardest thing about playing carry is using relics.
JinguBang on the back line. That was really, really smooth. Sanguine now in trouble. Big damage out of MandoWarrior with the pre-beads as well. And Jarcorrr got nothing with the dunk down.
Still got out, though, with that hammer teleport. Teleport's up for him. Might need to head back to base and upgrade it in order to rejoin this fight. Sanguine's had a bit of trouble breaking this base so far. Got the healing, though.
Well, that was beautiful from Team Cryptik. Like I said, Ronngyu went, all right, got your beads, man. What about when I do it in 10 seconds again? Ha, ha, ha. And Jingu said, all right, he's going to do that again in 10 seconds. Looks like I got to go in, and made that happen.
Ooh, big ultimate maybe here from Copebby. Pulls in a couple, but look at Panitom. He initiates on Mando, so he can't follow up.
Trouble for Panitom as he's trying to wiggle his way out. But Jarcorrr is able to get rid of Mando on the backside. JinguBang fighting for himself, but everyone else on the team dying. Jingu and Sibyl, the only one alive here.
I mean, Sanguine, this is what we expected to happen for this squad. We expected them to be a big favorite coming into this set, but Cryptik's role swap, gotta say, not a huge fan. I'd like to see Cope back somewhere he's a little bit more comfortable, though JinguBang played really well overall today. Don't know if you want to put Cope back in the jungle necessarily, but clearly Cryptik still has a lot they need to work out.
Got to agree there. Sanguine, on the other hand, kind of came in this one fast and loose. I don't know what was going on, but they were just having some fun. 20 minutes into the first game, kind of snapped back to reality, and it continues to game 2.
Look, Sanguine is a premier team in the North American Minor League. We expect them to be able to compete with the likes of Armada, and even Hype Unit right now, who has been tearing up the NA Minor League. Excited to get the chance to see some more of them as the week goes on, but overall, this is a team in Sanguine that we expect to play very well.
Great stuff here. 2 games above 0. Back to you guys on the desk.
Thank you, F-Dot, and... oh yeah, aggro. Yeah, thanks so much for that cast there of the Sanguine up against Cryptik matchup. Cryptik did end up falling down there. Ryan said it best, I think, totally, when he spoke about the fact that, well, they didn't buy any anti-heal and they got punished because of it.
That's a big deal when you're dealing with a Hell that goes 6-2-6 throughout the course of that game. And after winning that one, Sanguine already extending their set record wins to 3-1.
Yeah, 3-1, and we can have a little look then at the standings to see how this all broke down this week and see exactly how everything happened on in the league and throughout the whole day. day too, because this has been a very interesting day throughout the whole thing. But here's a little look at how the North American minor league now looks. Hype Unit still top of the shop, whereas Exilium still drifted at the bottom alongside Cryptik, unable to find a win so far.
The top continue to thrive, the bottom still struggling a little bit. Armada putting out a clinic there in that first North American set, and Sanguine kind of also doing the same to Cryptik.
And then let's have a look at what happened in the European minor league as well earlier on today. Queso keep their winning record going at 3-0 at the top. Whoa! Magic! My eyes broke! And that what happened then? Queso were 3-0 and all of a sudden they're 3-1. Wait, what just happened?
I
No,
think
that is the correct standing is just for you all. That's the actual right one. Simplicity, Flashpoint, Queso all tied up at the top of the shop, and drifting at the bottom is poor old fishy Exordium.
Should be interesting to see how the weeks pan out with the competition that stiff in Europe. North America a little bit more solidified, I think, with who the top two teams are. Also, Sanguine can easily squeeze in there as well, but Europe, very dicey.
Feels like a three-horse race in both leagues
Little
right
bit.
now with how they're looking. Here's a look back at what we saw throughout the day today with the minor league. Queso took on Simplicity, Outcall versus Exordium, Flashpoint Horizon Union was off air. So was Space Station Gold versus Hype Unit. Hype Unit did win that set in North America. And of course, Armada beat Exilium, and Sanguine close out Cryptik. And there's a little look at everything that happened throughout the day. Anything else to say, Toli?
No, nothing really other than Flashpoint finding the very important victory over Horizon Union to keep themselves still in the contention of the top three.
Well, it's only week 4 of the minor league so far, a couple more weeks still to play for, but that's not it for the broadcast for the rest of the week at least. Tomorrow we'll have Esports Weekly, so make sure you tune in to catch up on all the SPL goings on. And of course on Thursday and Friday we'll have the SPL live at 11 AM EST. For everyone here at the studio, Toli, myself, the casters, all around, and the production too, have a wonderful rest of your evening, and we'll see you tomorrow.